It
It's
is
5:30.
5:30, so why don't we go ahead and call a meeting to order? I don't have a gavel, so.
Would you like me to get?
Do you want to use my gun?
Okay, so let's go ahead and start with roll call.
Mike Baker.
Here.
Janice Baker here. Doug Mendenhall.
Here.
Michaela Hammerson.
Here. All right, I'll do the pledge of allegiance. Doug, you want to lead it?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so our first order of business is to review applications and interview applicants. We were talking a moment ago about whether or not we should do interviews time or as a group, so I will entertain a motion to whichever one you guys want, and we can vote on that right now.
To do it separately.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. All right, so we'll do it individually. I think we can just go ahead and go in order. So Jim Delac is first, and then where can we have the other applicants wait?
We have to bring their chair up there or something and wait until.
That should be chairs right out there. Okay.
These are the chairs that were out there. But there are chairs right behind you.
There's some.
Oh, okay, there you go.
There we go. Just put like 4 of them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
And then what we also did was, for, you know, I guess we could talk about them after each one, but sometimes it's better just to, we could talk about them all. We really did, Jimmy Adams.
Well, it's all going to be recorded, so they're gonna hear what we say
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
and the folks on the way.
And the folks online, yeah, I guess they could stay.
I don't know how to, I don't know how to mute. Oh, maybe with the mute button.
Can we mute it because it's a public meeting?
Oh, I don't think so.
Hmm,
That's right.
I know, this makes it complicated having a.
What do we have to have one online, right?
We have two
Two
online.
online.
I think
there are nine,
in
then.
the room.
Could you put them in a waiting room or anything?
Oh, yeah, do we have waiting room?
Disconnect and put them in a waiting room and then bring them back.
But then
bring
you
them
have
back in.
people in there, in here,
That way they're connected.
are they,
These are applicants though, just the
oh,
applicant.
just the applicants?
Yeah.
Online, okay,
So they do the same thing as
Yeah.
when they're.
yeah,
But
that's what I was
waiting
gonna
room.
say, if you're gonna.
Yeah.
Cut them out, then you should cut everyone
Okay.
But did they hear what we were
I'm
gonna
not
do?
sure if they heard. So for the applicants online, we're interviewing one at a time, so. We're trying to figure out how to put you guys in a room and then bring you back in a minute, so give us just a second for this technical part of the meeting.
I don't know how, I don't know if we have
Yeah, I don't think
the,
the technology.
I'm willing to text them
I know
if-
you can do it,
to
but.
Yeah.
log back in when we're ready for
I
them.
think, yeah,
can
you have to
text
put
them.
the option in that they go into the thing unless you admit them, so you don't admit they're in the lobby or whatever, right? And Zoom,
oh.
so as long as you don't admit them,
Oh.
Then
they're
they're.
just automatically in the
So have
waiting
them
room.
log
So-
out
And then you,
Let's have them leave and call back in, and we'll just let them sit
and we'll
there.
let them sit until we're ready
yeah,
for
and
them.
then we'll admit them when they're ready.
Can they, John and Samantha hear us?
And then when we bring them all in, they can all come in and we can just discuss.
Perfect,
So they're gonna have to call back in 2 more times then?
yes,
Okay.
it sucks.
Okay, so someone will have to
Oh,
give
wow,
them
yes.
direction.
Okay,
Or at least
so
one of them will.
can you
unless
guys,
really think the last one
can you
left.
guys disconnect and then call back in? We're gonna have you wait in the waiting room just until it's your turn to be interviewed, and then you'll be admitted. So don't hang up if you're not admitted. It just means we're waiting for a second until it's your turn. Does that make sense? Okay,
All right.
So they have to leave the meeting.
Oh, so we don't have the ability to actually put you in a waiting room?
No, they have to hang
No.
up
You
So
have
you're
to-
gonna
yeah.
have to actually disconnect.
yeah, you guys
Yeah.
have to hang
and
up
then reconnect back.
and call back in.
You have to leave the meeting and then you'll have to
Hit the link again.
hit the link again and it'll put you in a waiting room.
Is there a time that we should call back?
Call back right away. We'll just admit you when it's your turn. You're just gonna be sitting there waiting for a second.
Okay, got it.
She says a second.
For a few minutes.
For a
It'll
few
be for
minutes,
a
yeah,
few
it'll be in minutes.
Thank you, Samantha.
Thank you for clarifying that. It's all about setting expectations.
Right? Okay, but I don't know.
Did Samantha leave?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm trying to get out of it, so is there a good way to do it?
Just leave meeting or end.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see, more. Uh-oh. These.
Okay,
She did
okay.
it.
She got
She
it.
did it.
Now,
And
Yeah,
John's
John's the
working
only
on
one.
his.
Yeah.
there we
There we
go.
go.
Okay.
Perfect.
All
Okay,
right. We probably should have done one of them first.
that would have been smart. Oh, well. Okay. All right. Hi, Jim.
All right.
Thanks for joining us today. All right. Has everybody had an opportunity to read through his
Mhm.
application?
Yes.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for Jim? I have some if nobody has any, but.
Should we have him come sit up here?
Yeah. let's see, yeah.
It's pretty awkward over there.
Okay, perfect. Sam's in the waiting room. That's good. All right. Any questions? You guys want me to kick it off?
Sure.
Okay. I wrote them down so I won't mess them up. Okay, one of the main responsibilities of the board is to set policy. What experience do you have reading, setting, or enforcing policy?
Absolutely none. Other than just attending meetings and hearing and seeing what's going on,
Mhm.
you know, so it's just, I guess, you'd call it, current, knowledge. That's, you know, it's just nothing in the past. It's just what I've learned recently.
Okay,
And then Jim, you've served as a board member in the past recently. What do you think are some of the priorities for the district right now?
We have to, have fiscal responsibility. We need to make sure that as it grows, we grow and stay within the boundaries. And we've read about, one of them in, I think was in Northern Oregon, a company that was not fiscally responsible. They went under. And so this is something we don't want to do. We want to be able to keep track of everything. I mean, I started watching this before it was so-called public transportation district.
Mhm.
And so I've seen a lot of good things come on, you know. We have a financial person, we have an HR person, we have a maintenance person. These are the things that when I first started watching, they weren't there. Neither was everything was grouped together and nobody knew what was going on.
Mhm.
And it's taken several years to get that straightened out, to know what's, put it back to how it should have been to begin with, so we have something, a stable place to start with to go on.
Mhm.
That kind of leads into my question. Given that you were previously on the board and the current financial crisis we're in, is there anything you would have done different?
Not with the knowledge I've had. But, I mean, because this was brought up in a meeting that, probably in the budget meetings, and so it was something that was just totally unknown. Nobody really knew what was going on until all of a sudden we go, whoa, we don't have anything in the budget to stay, you know, in, what's the word I'm looking for? We had no backup, nothing in savings or anything. We used what was thought. What was, it was supposed to go to a specific thing. That didn't pan out, but that money was used for something else. And that was incorrect. It's not something that shouldn't be done. It should be redone or changed, something like that. You know.
You have a question, Jim?
No?
No.
Okay, I have another one. Another board responsibility is overseeing the UPTD general manager. What experience do you have in personnel management, or what transferable skills can you offer?
Was for Beaumont for 8 years, and 6 of those years I was the department manager. So yes, I have some management skill when scheduling, that kind of stuff. You know, and ordering and merchandise for sales and whatever, so, quite a bit of experience like that.
So you do have experience with policy.
Yes,
You have
yes.
employment policy and things like that. There you go. Transferable skills. Okay, anybody else? Okay, then my other one, just for the record, was, have you ever been elected to a position, government, nonprofit, non-government organization? But you had just said that you were elected to
Yes,
the board.
yes,
Any
no,
other?
no
experience?
others, no.
Okay. Anybody else? No? All right. I think we're ready for the next one.
Do we wanna do the ones online so that they can, or no? Do the ones.
I don't care. Yeah, we can do that. Then they don't have to wait for as long,
Mhm.
but they're gonna have to. call
But they're gonna
back
have to call
They're
back
gonna
in, so maybe we should wait till.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
One way or the
Yeah.
other.
we'll just wait.
Yep.
Okay, let's just stick to the order then. Okay, so Natasha.
Okay. Yep, Natasha. Good morning, Moses.
Hello.
Any question?
Hello. Hello. All right, same question. Has everybody had an opportunity to read through?
Yeah.
For
Yes.
application? Okay. Hello. Okay, do you guys want me to start again?
Yeah. go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, all right. One of the main responsibilities of the board is to set policy. What experience do you have reading, setting, or enforcing policy?
Paul. So I'm currently the executive director for UHI Ample Homes, and we support people with developmental disabilities in home settings. And I'm responsible for maintaining policy, updating policy as necessary, and then bringing it to the board for approval. And in that landscape, it's quite possible that policy is updated. At least one policy is updated every 6 months. And that can be because of a rule change or because of a government mandate that's updated something, in COVID land, we were changing policies a lot. So I have a good amount of experience updating policies, and that's in that realm.
Perfect.
And then you didn't have it in your application, but I believe you used to do some of the dial-a-ride.
We were,
Yeah.
we were dial-a-ride for,
UHI.
oh goodness, 7 years.
11
Yeah.
years, yeah.
7 years, I think. And it was not this last round, but the round before the changes with everything.
Right.
And it's a mission adjacent. So it's mission adjacent for UHI. It doesn't serve exactly mission, and we were losing money. And with the new funding stream, it didn't look like we were going to not lose money. So it was just a hard sell to the board to move forward with another year. So we didn't renew our application. So.
What role did you sort of play in that?
And dial-a-ride? Well, we ran 3 vehicles. Is that what you mean, or me specifically?
You personally, yeah.
I oversaw the
Oh,
program.
okay.
So, we had a person who was in charge of running reports and turning those into me and making sure that everything looked good. And then I would write the budget and review that with her and make sure that we were
Mhm.
in compliance for everything and then submit to Cheryl, with usually always my signature. So. And previously with the county, we were with the county when I first started, which I then transitioned with the district.
Given your experience on the stiff stack and budget committees and budget crisis we're currently in,
Yeah.
is there anything you would have done different during your time on those committees?
Well, I mean, retrospect is always 2020, so if I knew last year when we were looking at budget committee suggestions, I'm sure the stiff stack would have made different suggestions to the budget committee than we did. But we used the information we had presented to us that we were aware of and made decisions based on that. So I think, you know, I don't know that we could have made different decisions because we made the decisions based on the information we were given at that time.
Fair enough.
All right. Another board responsibility is overseeing the UPTD general manager. That is a mouthful. What experience do you have in personnel management, or what transferable skills can you offer?
I serve a team of 150 individuals. At UHI, I'm the executive director over everyone. Specifically, I lead a group of 10 executives, and that is the people that I write write-ups for, or performance reviews or such things. But it is my job at the end of the day for all 150 individuals. That's my life. Management is my life.
You guys didn't have anything else, did you?
Not really. I think you answered the question about what, on another question that somebody had, but, just what you think are the most important items facing the district at this time.
Oh, 100% budget. Yeah, we need to establish our reserves and make sure that everything is back to where it needs to be and all numbers are clear and concise, and you're doing a great job.
You are doing
Yeah.
it.
We
Okay.
appreciate you being online. You've attended
Yeah,
pretty much every
I
meeting for
attempt
years.
to be here if I can't be here. Yeah.
Okay, have you ever been elected to a position, government, nonprofit, NGO?
Elected to, yeah,
Or plenty.
yeah, so I don't know how many boards I currently serve on. So yes, I was elected to the Aura Board, which is Oregon Resource Association. It's an association for agencies that do what I do, and it's statewide. So I'm one of 8 board members there. I'm on the HOA board. And I know I'm missing one. Anyway, so there's
A lot.
something else that I'm missing. So, yeah.
Dan?
You guys have already asked.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're just cruising right through these. Oh, Marlon? Yes, thank you so much.
Okay.
Welcome. Go ahead. you
Okay,
start.
I'm sorry. Did everybody have an opportunity to read through her application? Yes, okay.
Oh, wait. I'm the wrong one.
Oh, yeah, get on the right one.
Marley.
Marley.
Okay, got
Yeah.
that one.
Okay. All right, first question. One of the main responsibilities of the board is to set policy. What experience do you have reading, setting, or enforcing policy?
Well, as you know, I was a supervisor here for a while. I've been here almost 4 years. And I was the assistant to the operations, so, you know, I kind of have dealt with that and tried to influence the policies as a supervisor.
I have another one. Another board responsibility is overseeing the UPTD general manager. What experience do you have in personnel management, or what transferable skills can you offer?
Well, I also had on there that I sat on the city council for Estacada, which is a city I grew up in, so I was on there for.
I was wondering what city that was.
Yes,
Yeah.
so I lived there 40 years and I was on the board for city council for 5 years, and then we relocated down here. So that's why I had to resign, but I, you know, had won 2 elections and enjoyed it.
When
So
was that?
98, 99,
Oh, okay,
or
so a
early
while ago.
2000s. We didn't come here till about 2005. So, yeah.
I just been the planning manager from down here, became the city manager of Lincoln Estates.
Oh, really?
So I was wondering if you knew.
I graduated
Right
from
after
Barlow High School.
Oh,
so-
well.
that. Small world.
That works.
I know, right where Esticated is.
Yeah.
Looking forward into the future, how do you see growing the transportation district within budget guidelines?
Well, I think as I say, working here, I, can see a lot of places that we could change things in the budget and things that I don't think were probably working the way they might or should. I think there's places we could cut and some places that we need to enhance more that might work. And, you know, I thought, I know all the drivers, get there, I used to get there and put all the time on what they liked or wanted to see, so I kind of have a good idea of that too.
So it sounds like you have good information on the fixed route system. How about the dial ride paired transit?
You know, I never really sort of got into a whole lot of that. I did learn some. But since I was downstairs and they were upstairs, but I got the concept and I kind of knew how it worked and I knew all the drivers. And I worked with Selena, the manager, supervisor, all of the time because of preventative maintenance, because I was in charge of all of that. So, yeah, I kind of know the concept and I kind of know how it should work. But I would never did any real training on it, like with route maps or anything like that. I would have liked to, I just never had time to.
Well, you probably had advantage over all of us, so.
Yeah.
That's true. That knowledge would be helpful.
What do you think are a couple of the biggest priorities for the district at this point?
Trying to grow it, which it did grow some, but with the budget cuts, then it's kind of reeled back. I'd like to see it grow even more, because I think that there's a lot of need in the area for it.
With you having sort of a little bit more intimate experience with the people that work here, do you feel, serving on the board that you could be impartial, that you could, deal with people in a way, because, you know, as overseeing Cheryl, for instance, and some of the operations that go on here, do you think that you would be able to act, in an impartial manner on the board?
Yes, Cheryl and I have always, I mean, she's the one main reason I got through a lot of what I got through to get to the supervisor position when I was an assistant. And we didn't have a supervisor here for 3 months and the operations manager was here, but he was just getting started. It was like, I went to her a lot. I mean, that's where I got some questions asked, answered, not asked, but I asked a lot of
You
questions.
did ask a few.
But I got answers, and that's what I needed. So I have no issue working with Cheryl at all. I can, or anybody else.
Would you, sorry, you're in the room while I'm
It's okay.
asking this question, but, for instance, in my position, I've had to oversee Friends before, which can be sort of weird because you have to deliver performance reviews. You have to sort of act in that capacity. Would you feel comfortable being in a position to deliver a performance review?
I don't have a problem. We have had a lot of in-depth conversations and a lot of times there were things I didn't agree with her on. But she was, let me say my piece and we moved on. I mean, that was the way it was.
Perfect.
Yep.
And then let's see, well, you kind of already answered this, but maybe there's something you didn't say. Have you ever been elected to a position, government position, nonprofit, non-government,
Non-government,
anything, just anything? Ever been elected to a position?
not elected.
Or
no.
appointed to a board?
No, No, just the city council is where I've gotten the board part of
Yeah.
that. I was a CASA for quite a while. When I first got down here, I learned all of that, so that was kind of
The
well
court
into,
appointed special advocates.
Yep.
CASA.
yep, so I learned a lot with that too.
Perfect.
Yep.
Anything else, you guys? Good. All right, I think that does it. Thank you so much, Marley.
Next
Okay,
one's online.
yeah, done.
Next two are online.
We had 6.
Kathy's still out there. I don't know if you. want to-
Yeah, but going in order, the next two are online. And
I know. Yeah, I don't know, should we break the order? Do Kathy, just because it's easier?
Up to you.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. I'll make an executive decision.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it Kathy that is here?
C.
All right.
It's all the science. We were just having such a nice chat out. I thought I was just kind of kicking back because I figured I was last on the list. so.
You were. Okay, has everybody had a chance?
Careful, that sir was gonna dump you on the floor. You might want this one instead.
I know some of the chairs are a
Yeah, they
little,
buck.
Yeah, they're a little
Yeah.
wonky.
and they're so low. for
Maybe.
short people.
It's the trick chair.
Feel like you're sitting on the floor.
Is that what you said?
See if
I
I can
need one, I
manage.
need a booster seat.
That's a lot better. Thank you.
It's like the, you got the,
I saw it going. I was gonna go before.
All right. Hi, Kathy.
Hello. So I do have to say, I do know Michaela and I do know Doug. I have met you. I've heard, but I haven't heard you guys, your names, but anyway, I've seen you before on the monitor.
You recognize faces.
Yes.
All right, so does anybody want to start?
let's start it off.
Okay, I'll start it every time. Stop asking. Okay, one of the main responsibilities of the board is to set policy. What experience do you have reading, setting, or enforcing policy?
Well, I have, I guess I could go to real basics in my job. I was a dental hygienist. And so I set the office policy for the hygiene department. And I pretty much, I kind of told the dentist how the hygiene department should run in our office and kind of made sure the other hygienists were following suit. I have worked in a number of committees where you have to read. I am an avid reader and I am kind of a nerd about legalities and all that kind of thing. So I enjoy that. I am very much like a believer of Robert's rules and order. I was raised a Presbyterian, and so I think I'm good at meetings with following procedure and following standards. And I pick up things quickly, and I am not afraid to ask questions or to look if I don't understand. I'm kind of a good I enjoy researching things online. I'm not afraid. I went through a really ugly divorce. My ex-husband was a captain 3 with the LAPD. So that would be the equivalent of being a chief of police at a city bigger than Roseburg. And it ended up, I kind of had to start doing my own case for me because they played it very dirty. So I started learning how to read the law and how to understand the law and how to write legal briefs and that kind of thing too. So I kind of have an eclectic background, but I don't know, did that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you very much.
So I'm gonna stick with the theme I've been sticking with. Given the budget constraints we're in, how do you feel what are your ideas or your vision for growing the district in the future?
That would be something that I don't know if I could tell you right off the bat what my vision, because I have to really sit and study what we've done. I am very much a fiscal conservative, and I'm very much a believer in numbers and that kind of thing. But I also believe that we have to be responsible for those who need the services we provide, and we have to honor that. So I think, like I said, I'm not sure that I can just off the top of my head answer what I could do, because I'd have to look to see more, get a better overall picture. But I am good at working as a team for problem solving.
What is your knowledge of public transportation in Douglas County?
You know, that I'm probably, I will be honest, I'm probably one of your least knowledgeable candidates. As I said, I pick up things very quickly. I believe in civic duty. When I moved up here, I moved up in 2020, the end of January, right before COVID hit. I moved up, I retired to move up to take care for my elderly parents who I live with now, and I kind of watch over. I'm lucky that they are really amazingly healthy in that. So I have seen through their friends that there is a need in the elderly community for transportation and for some adjustments to be made in that. So I admit, like I said, I'm
That's okay.
probably not your most qualified on paper, but again, I'm a pretty quick learner.
So what's your motivation?
Part of it is
I'm not sure
because
on this
I
one.
know the people, elderly people that are having a hard time. And also that I have been raised, that I have been blessed, and therefore I have an obligation, I feel, to give back. And this is one area that kind of opened up that, I'll be honest, Michaela had said, I think you should consider this. And I said, I'll have to pray about it and just see what happens. And as you know, the final hour pretty much is when I put in my application, and I respect all of your opinions, and I will be supportive of whatever you decide. But I do think you have a really important, it's really important now, because there's a lot of things we're facing just with energy and all that kind of stuff too. So we have it's a lot going on right now. This is a very important board and an important matter, I think.
So I know you said you don't have a lot of knowledge, and that's fine, that's okay, but you know, I think your motivation is right on where you said. I just forgot what I was gonna ask. Another question.
We're not done yet, so we can think about it.
Oh, what do you think the priorities are? What do you think the priorities
there
should
we
be
go.
for this board?
Well, I would think right now, it's my understanding, we need to really take a look at our fiscal issues and really, you can't, if you don't have that in order, you really have a problem, you know, so we really need to get that in order. And then I think we need to be examining our priorities as far as what groups that we have here. We have to start figuring who do we think, what order do we want to address, who has the most need, and address that first, so.
And that's in human groups, the different demographics.
Yeah, you know, be it people with disabilities, elderly, I mean, we have, and they can cross paths too. You also have, you know, people like that, you know, don't have a lot of money. I mean, there's a lot of areas that we need to, like I say, I need to examine that, so. That's.
Thank you.
All right.
Why did she look familiar to me?
I don't know.
I asked the same
Did you?
thing.
Yeah, I mean, boy, if we were in Southern California, I'd be like, Is she one of my patients?
I used to live in Southern California.
Did you really? How long ago?
I just came up here in 2021. Yeah.
What part of Southern California?
Well, I was down in like, San Marcos area. I was also in the Riverside area.
Okay, well, I was LA area, so you were kind of on, but that's pretty funny.
Next to each other forever.
Okay, another board responsibility is overseeing the UPTD general manager. What experience do you have in personnel management, or what transferable skills can you offer?
Well, again, in the office, I kind of worked as an unofficial office manager, and so I'm comfortable with evaluating somebody's program. I also I do believe in leadership by example as well, and I believe in positive. I try and be more constructive rather than destructive by nature. I just through the years, I've coached baseball. I've done numerous different committees and boards. I've served on numerous, actually even pastor seeking boards and that kind of thing, committees. So, being a little more vague, but, I feel that I do have the, leadership skills. I've always been a little bossy. As you can see, I'm incredibly shy.
All right, did you have another one?
No.
No, okay. My last one, well, you kind of already said that you've been on numerous boards, committees. So my question was, have you ever been elected to a position, government, nonprofit, non-government organization?
I have been elected. I was on the Douglas County Republican Central Committee Board. And I was also defrocked from that board. There's some interesting politics going on. If any of you don't, I hope that a lot of you aren't aware of it, but
I was on it one time.
so it's funny how I was elected, like I said, when I was on the pastor seeking committees, those were elected. I was asked several times in Southern California to run for school board. I didn't feel that was my calling. I instead helped run campaigns rather than actually run for the office.
All right, any other questions, you guys? No, okay. You're our last in-person one, so we're gonna switch over.
So now you're gonna go on.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we'll call you guys in just a second.
Who do
Well,
you
thank
guys?
you very much.
John.
John,
He's
first.
first on mine here, so.
Should we
No,
admit?
no,
John,
oh, yeah, admit Steve,
I was gonna say he's public.
he's public.
Okay. There was a
Right. Who are
chat,
we
so I
admitting
stole
first?
the thing.
John.
John, okay. Oh, he's on there. He's sideways.
I guess make sure he's there. Oh, there he is, yeah.
Oh, there he is. Can you hear us, John? You are actually muted on your side.
If you can unmute.
Yeah, just click that. He's gonna,
There we go.
Okay,
there you
There
are.
we go.
all right. Let me
Okay,
set
there
this
you
up.
go. Perfect. All right, hi, John.
Hi, how's everybody doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
All right, here's your first question.
Uh-oh.
One of the main responsibilities of the board is to set policy. What experience do you have reading, setting, or enforcing policy?
So, my background is, I worked in weapon systems for Lawrence Livermore Lab, and we constantly interface with the federal folks in DC who established policy for warhead deployments and such, and that was very important in process models to take that into account. We didn't necessarily establish the policy. That was done. That was a federal responsibility, but we fed into the models how that policy may be flawed. And this is not as you should be able to rewrite it in a better way. So that was really a big part of our one of the big parts of our job is take into account policy issues. It's just the nature of it that we weren't in a position to take the lead on establishing policy. That was federal lawmakers' responsibility. But we, like I said, we did talk about some of the things that might be flawed with the policies, and we recommended changes, things like that. So this is something called multi-attribute decision models that some of you might be familiar with, and takes into account a lot of things when you're deploying systems: cost, schedule, risk, and policy was one of the bullets that was very contentious at times, because people are very happy and comfortable with existing policies, and our job was to try to poke holes in things to make it better. So
Awesome.
that's about all I can offer on that right now.
No, thank you.
Hi, John.
Hi.
My first question is, I see training in risk analysis and decision analysis. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So again, we talked about we developed the multi-attribute decision models that took into account many of the different things that one would be concerned with. Cost overruns are always a concern. What can you do to minimize the cost risk? What kind of resources do you need to apply? The types of resources. Does it make sense? And so you do a lot of elicitations from subject matter experts, folks, to understand the issues with whatever it is you're trying to work on at this time. Plus, you fold all of those things that you're trying to improve into one model, and it becomes the importance is based on the subject matter experts or the leaders of the whole program, what they consider the most important thing, not what you or me consider, but and then you go back and forth and tweak the model. So because it's always a game of decision, and risk is puts and takes. You're weighing what do we have to give up, and and if we give something up, what value is that we're giving up? Is it if you tweak something a little bit, it's so hyperbolic that it may cost you an awful lot. So maybe you should look at something else. That again, we're talking about multi-attributes, and for example, and I mean, I'm not an expert in transportation. Quite honestly, I'm just a person that knows how to do systems modeling for probably anything. But you have to. The real work is getting out and talking to people that are transportation experts, try and understanding what that business is, and trying to help and improve things, because everything costs money, right? And should we buy new equipment? How old is the equipment? What's the maintenance required, and what's the life of the accounting things that come into play? What's the lifetime of a piece of equipment, and all the ordered cost values that go along with the purchase of equipment, and when to sell. The decision, when should we sell? And sometimes it's, yeah, it's not necessarily the best thing always to hold on to something until it falls apart. You kind of manage things better. So, we had, we did a lot of like Monte Carlo analysis, where you're looking at probabilities of different actions, whether it's cost or schedule on things. And that's kind of nuts and bolts of risk analysis, is applying Monte Carlo routines to making good decisions. But I think it's, this would be a very interesting job, because it's something completely different for me. And there's a lot of the one part of transportation, like experience, and it's very little experience, but I'll tell you that I thought were some interesting meetings I went to when I lived down in California. We had the local transportation system is BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit, which is rail. And I went to some meetings because it had to do with putting a new hub in an area of our town, which didn't have one. And you I got to see some of the interaction of the public, for or against doing this. And it has to do with what's the new safety envelope changes, because now you're bringing in maybe some seedy folks that you don't want in your neighborhoods. What kind of, so it's a broad spectrum. Then how is a train station going to degrade the air? And it was an interesting exercise, but in the end, they did not put a station in our town, because people just did not, we're up in arms about having it. They're worried about crime and such increasing. But BART did offer an awful lot of money to try to get that station there. And as far as I know, it's never happened, but they're, so that's kind of what I can speak to, I guess, on that area.
So I have another question about board responsibilities. So one of the other responsibilities is overseeing the UPTD general manager. What experience do you have in personnel management, or what transferable skills do you have?
Well, let's see. I managed programs in the last 5 years of my career. Basically, I was a 30 million a year is what my program was. And so I had scientists, engineers, technicians, administrative staff, the full gamut of people, and headaches, if you don't mind me saying. But so I was responsible for these people. I wrote performance appraisals, argued for them, and to try to give them a little bit better raise, to try to find new responsibilities for people so that they're happy in their job. And that's kind of difficult, because I also, the composition of this group was mostly physicists. And I always said the job is not, program management. It's a herd management, cat herd management, trying to, because as every physicist will say, you just think you understand the problem, John. You don't understand. But no, I mean, it was challenging, but fun. It wasn't. I really didn't have any difficulties with managing people. I found them mostly interesting people. With they needed, if they needed anything, they needed a little help in business management. They didn't need any help in technical. They were very good at that, and of course, every one of them came there thought that they should deserve the Nobel Prize, and So, but I come from a family of scientists, father and all that. So I was kind of used to it. And you had to always make good arguments for things that you would propose to them to cut back. It's always managing money too, right? You gotta, we don't have the money we had last year, Peter, I'm sorry, and then you try to, appease him. And we had a couple of, tough birds, but because they made such good arguments. But in the end, you have a business to run. Everybody's got a business to run, and you have to make decisions, and you try to do it in a way that doesn't irritate people. In fact, try to get them behind a decision. And so you, me, whatever, whoever's managing this effort has to understand all the different inputs and all the different personalities. And so sometimes your reaction to one person is very different than the same issue with another person, because they come from different perspectives. So that's always that was that actually it took a while for me to get really good at that. And but in the end I became
I was gonna ask if you had any Sheldons on the team.
Well,
Sheldons.
the best person that I could, yeah, we had, it's always funny. We had, accountant types, that worked for me, and they were very good. They're numbers people, right? And it was always funny to watch them try to tell is you're over budget, and this can't go on. And then the physicist would say, would argue, it'd take him a half an hour to make his argument, but his argument was that if he fails, we all fail. And he would, oh, okay. So then it's fun sometimes to watch the interaction. And, but I guess what I could say is I'm good with people. I don't have any difficulties. I can kind of see through the BS and understand, hey, some people just do that. And
Yeah.
you got a common goal. We got to get something done and try to get people behind it. Sometimes not everybody's going to be behind it. It's, what can you do?
Absolutely.
You can only
Okay,
do.
John. Well, I think did you guys have any more? Doug doesn't. I think we're done with questions. What do we want to do? Have him drop off then again, or what?
Yes, so unfortunately for us to be able to interview the next person, we have to ask you to hang up and then call back in, and we'll keep you on hold until we're done with that last interview.
Yeah.
And then we'll bring you in.
Yeah, just John has.
Oh,
to
yeah,
log on.
just John.
So you want me to hang up now? Is that right?
And then call back.
And
Yeah,
then
and then
call
call
back
back.
and we'll put you in the waiting room again until Samantha's done.
Okay.
She's the last one. She's the
Oh,
last
thank
one.
you. Thank you all.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Sorry about this.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, and we're done.
Okay, so
I
I know, I
Yeah.
feel bad. All right, do we have?
That is Samantha connecting.
All right, oh, connecting to audio.
There she is.
Is. Oh, it still says connecting to audio. Can you hear us?
I think you're muted.
Oh, she's
But
muted.
there you go.
Oh,
There you are.
Hello.
there we go.
Okay.
All right, did everybody have a chance to read first?
Yes.
Okay, all right, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, okay, so first question. One of the main responsibilities of the board is to set policy. What experience do you have reading, setting, or enforcing policy?
Well, I don't have any experience in setting policy, but being involved, I'm a precinct committee person. And so, being involved in politics like I am, I tend to read policies and laws and rules. Yeah, but I don't have any experience in setting them.
Okay.
Given our current financial situation, what is your vision in the future to grow the district?
Given the current financial situation, say that one more time.
What is your vision to grow the district in the future?
For transportation.
Yes,
So I'm not sure what transportation is like right now, but I remember when I rode the bus, when I was too disabled to drive, there was a route that only made it to Sutherland, I think 3 times in the morning and then once in the afternoon. So I lived in Sutherland at the time. And so I would have to, if I rode the bus, I would have to plan out my entire day to stay in town. And if the finances were better, I know that I would want to make an extra route to Sutherland. To gain finances, I'm not sure what is done with this department to gain finances. I don't know if I answered the question properly. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
It's a tough one.
So Samantha, what motivates you to be a member of this board? Why do you want to be a member of this board? Why not another board, something else? Why public transit?
That's a really good question. First you have to kind of have experience to actually to be on other boards. I think, like, I don't know, I just thought maybe this would be a good start to experience. Sorry, that was my phone. I apologize. I think this would be a good experience to start maybe a board. I thought, you know, because I did have a lot of ideas when I was riding the bus and everything. So, but yeah, sorry.
That's fine, thank you.
All right, I have another one. So another one of the board responsibilities is overseeing the UPTD general manager. What experience do you have in personnel management, or what transferable skills can you offer?
Personal management as in managerial experience.
Yeah, yep.
I don't actually have managerial experience. But I can bring other experiences to the board. I feel like I'm kind of good at advice, like if asked, but I've not been a manager or a supervisor. Not yet.
Okay, perfect. You guys have any others?
No.
All right. I think that's it.
All right, stay on the line. We're gonna let John back in and bring all the people back in the room. Right?
Are we discussing first or?
I've been, well, we always gave it open, let it be open to candidates. You can come in and we may discuss something that you said right in front of you, and you may not like it, you may like it, but it's up to you if you want to let them choose whether they want to be in there or not. So that's how we always did on council.
All right.
So,
So you can stay if you like, or whatever you would like.
Do we need to let the others know as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want me to do that. Oh, thank you so much.
welcome to come in if they want to hear it. Yeah, some stuff maybe further behind them.
It is weird.
It is.
It is.
It's recorded in public. It is.
Yeah.
You can watch it back. Exactly. Wait till I read it again. All right. Thank you, guys. Welcome back. This is the fun part. We're going to discuss decisions in front of all of you. guys.
Might be the time to leave.
You are welcome to stay or not stay. It's totally up to you. Okay, so we do have 3 positions that are available and, one of the things that I think that we need to decide on as a board is, are we going one by one to nominate for the open positions? Do we want to go one by one, or do we want to vote as a slate, as we discussed before we?
I suspect it'll be either do one-on-one.
I think-
I would just suggest we do position 3, then 5, and then 6. or something.
And they're all eligible for all positions, right?
Yeah.
Right. So then the second question is, are we accepting multiple nominations for each candidate? Or are we accepting one nomination and a straight up or down vote on that candidate?
I would just propose it's a motion, second, and discussion.
So you're talking one nomination per position.
Mhm.
Do you understand that?
And if it fails, it fails, you know, a tie vote or something or whatever, since all 4 of us.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Is there anybody that doesn't want the longer term? Maybe start there.
Well, that is actually the first position that became available, and I believe every person here applied for that.
Oh,
So I
nice.
think they're all willing to. Right?
Yeah.
Right,
Yes.
okay. I didn't think we had added anybody else after.
No,
So,
no new applications.
okay, so the first position then is gonna be position number 3. Do we have any discussion about pros, cons, candidates?
I have a nomination.
Okay, well, I guess you can nominate and then we'll discuss.
I nominate John Still.
A second,
You nominate who?
John Still.
John.
All right. Do we have any discussion?
Well. John was a smart guy.
John is a smart guy. That is the takeaway.
It kind of felt like it would be analysis paralysis. It's kind of what I just kind of felt like it was, he was looking for more systems modeling. I think that was something he said. I didn't feel like it was a good fit. Not a lot of knowledge of transit.
I didn't have any knowledge.
I
of
know.
transit.
As someone who also didn't have any knowledge of
Yeah,
transit, I do
But,
think.
but
that
his
there's-
answers didn't relate to transit. His answers and examples didn't relate to transit, and it didn't really relate to the customers.
I feel his analytical skills are useful, very useful on the board. To look at processes and ways we might become more efficient. Which would save money and help grow our reserves.
I do like that he worked with Washington DC and policy. I mean, we're talking about pretty involved policies that are probably a lot more than what we're dealing with here with UPTD. So that was good to hear. I also like the risk analysis. He talked a lot about cost risk. And then going to subject matter experts to get input about things that he didn't know. And I do like that. I work in an area where you have to sort of rely on other people. You don't have to be the expert on everything, but you have to know where to go get the information. And I think sometimes that is just as valuable as, you know, having it.
I think we're a policy board though, and not operational staff. So it kind of felt like he wanted to move more into that realm than a policy board member level.
We did talk about looking at hot policy and And making sure the policy is improved by punching holes in policy specifically.
That's what. You have any feedback, Janice?
Well, systems modeling, risk assessment kind of stuff, people management as far as, you know, getting along with people and no drama, but bringing, you know, professionalism, that kind of thing is good.
Yeah.
You know, this analytical thinking.
Are we ready to call the question?
Yeah.
Have a motion?
I make motion.
Oh, you already made a
He made a
motion.
motion.
Never
He
mind.
seconded it, yeah.
Well, I made a nomination.
Oh, you made a motion, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so all those in favor of, hold on, let me get this right. John is still for position number 3, say aye.
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 All those opposed?
No,
All right. We have number 3 filled. Okay. And then we are going to move on to position number 5. 5 and 6 expire June 2025, just FYI. All right,
It's a 1-year old.
yeah, a little bit less than 1 year.
11 months.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, that's coming up quick. All right.
so 2 positions, unfortunately, there was at least 4 people I thought were, so there were some really good responses to some of these, but,
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So do we want to start with a nomination or do we want to start with discussion?
Let's just nominate and go.
okay, well, want them all, let's go Natasha Atkinson.
Alright.
Yeah,
Second.
Okay.
as far as the discussion, I mean, what does she have? She's, you know, she's been attending these meetings for years, so definitely interest in transit. She's run Dial-A-Ride for an agency. She's thoughtful and easy to work with. She asks questions, and you see in our board meetings as well. Just a lot of knowledge, supervisor. I mean, just that, you know, she's been in the community. She mentioned the customers, you know, doing things to, you know, motivation for the right reason. So that's why.
She does math in her head really
Yeah,
fast.
yeah. That's why, yeah,
I noticed that during the
Yeah.
budget meeting.
I agree with all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Yeah. No stranger to policies and to, you know, serving on a board, participating in a sort of a meeting type environment. Not everyone's cup of tea.
Team player, no drama,
Yeah.
just keeping it professional. I like that.
No, but were a bunch of really good applications and interviews, so. If we don't get you on the board, also just, you know, we may have positions open on the stiff stack, on our budget committee.
Mhm.
We want to have you, you know, join us in some way.
We do have openings. We do have openings and maybe Cheryl could send those out to all of the applicants in case they're interested.
Can I say that so far, I would be voting exactly how you voted? I think you're doing a great job, so don't apologize for the job you're.
So position 5 for, is that what we're
So
looking at?
this is position 5 that we are
Natasha.
deciding on
Yes.
right now. Is there any other discussion before we go to the vote?
Just that anytime we've had a board meeting and she's given input, it's been valuable input.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. All those in favor of Natasha for position number 5, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Welcome to the board.
Position.
Okay.
Maybe we start this one up with discussion since it's the last one,
Yeah,
if that's okay.
Yeah.
Is that,
yeah.
well, the only question I have about that is that fair to the other two?
Well, that's the last one. I don't know.
It's up to
We can
you
just
guys
go motion.
because you're the ones that make the motion. I cannot
Yeah.
make a motion.
We can go either way, but
Okay. Good.
yeah, so I mean, the other three that I really liked, was Jim Delap. Jim has served on the board previously, has always asked really good questions, very in-depth and things, team player, you know, but will ask hard questions and stuff. He's been around for a long time, has been attending these before he was on the board, he was on the board, he continues to attend. Served on our budget committee, so a lot of knowledge there. I also like Marley, in there, a lot of information on, you know, on our fixed route transit system and just a real good in-depth knowledge of that really probably none of us have. So that's a real positive in my mind on that. And finally Kathy. You know, your positive attitude, that your motivations, I thought were right on for the customer and all of that. Just your life experiences, you know, just great interview too, so. I really appreciate you coming in. So those were my, I guess, those are my thoughts. The next.
Those are your nominations.
I want to nominate all of them.
Just to clarify, that isn't what you're looking at. You're gonna make this a mess of a meeting.
Top of my list, Kathy. I've worked with her before. She's very easy to work with, but she's also firm in her convictions. She's not afraid to tell you if you're going off track. And her honesty, is unquestionable. So. Yeah, and her motivations are good.
Mhm.
So that's my discussion.
I like Marley, for her vision of growth and knowledge of the organization. She's growth oriented. She knows Cheryl well. Plus, she's served before, I believe, city council. Yeah, that's, Mike's been on the city council. I know what that's kind of like. Congratulations, you made it through. Yeah.
Or smart, you
Just
left.
the idea. So the idea is the knowledge, the wanting to work together as a group and all of that kind of stuff just impressed me. So that's I'm leaning towards Marley. And I love Jim too, but so close, so close.
Do I have to have my glasses this way?
You don't have
No, well, first of all, I want to echo what Mike said. Thank you guys all for applying. It takes a lot to put yourself out there. And especially to join a public meeting and interview in a public meeting, that's like not a small deal, that's a big deal. So thank you guys all so much. I am the most familiar with Kathy. I have worked with her before and she is very easy to work with. I think that her ability to understand policies and the legal abilities that she has, I worked with her with this. She has a great legal mind, and she really can break things down. When she said she likes Robert's rules, that's not a joke. She does. And she will.
Did she give you this book?
Just in case I need it, I carry it with me because I do need to do things the right way. I am really very much a fan of Kathy. I know she would do a terrific job on the board. I definitely have to give kudos to Jim for showing up to every single meeting. He does ask really, really great questions and he has been involved since the first meeting that I came to. So, I'm familiar with him. He's a friend of this board for sure. So I would tend to lean towards Kathy, but, that is my input. All right.
Well, I guess my lean was for probably Jim, just because I think the experience, the knowledge, trumps all that, but they were all awesome, so.
Oh my gosh.
Janice, why don't you haven't made a motion? Pick one of ours then. You don't have to, I'm just. kidding.
I nominate Kathy.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll be able to get there in a later round. I think what the problem is, we're all. So yours with Kathy. I know you're Kathy, but you're the chair, so you can't make a motion.
I'm
Jim, and you were who? Marley.
Marley.
Okay,
Marley
so
and
we're gonna
Jim.
draw straws.
Marley and Jim. But everybody is just so close, it's just,
Yeah, I thought Kathy was awesome.
yeah, yeah,
Very, very impressed by her.
yes.
Do we wanna do any follow-up questions, or how do we wanna resolve this?
We didn't make anyone else go through that.
That's true,
Mm-mm.
that is true. Okay, so this is the other thing we can do. We can swear in the other two right now.
Well, they didn't hear the interviews though.
I know.
Yeah.
You guys are making my job difficult here.
Straws.
That's what I said.
And
So, rock, paper, scissors.
let's do it like an individual vote around the table. I don't know.
Well, we don't have a second, so we can't vote without a second.
And the chair can't second a motion.
What if I nominate Jim?
Well, hold on, just a second. Can the. Yeah, the bylaws.
The motion.
You can't make a motion. I don't know if you can second, the deal that you don't, but.
Well, I do get one vote equal to you guys. I know that, so. Each board member shall have one equal vote. The chair is excluded from bringing a motion to the table. That
Right.
doesn't say that I can't second though.
That's correct.
Okay, then I will second it.
like you have to be.
I don't know, then I'll second. And then we can vote on it and be done with it. So. All those,
Okay, motion and second for.
for Kathy. Oh, do I need to say that whole thing?
Mhm.
What
For
position,
position number 6.
position number, but, okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
All right. So Kathy, welcome to the board, Kathy.
Thank you.
Okay,
And everybody better stay on the board for the
yeah,
full term because I don't wanna do this again. It's not comfortable.
Well, our terms expire in May. No, they expire in June.
June.
next year,
Yeah.
but
We'll have-
The election is in May.
Right, we'll have 2 elected officials,
Yeah.
but
And there will be 1, 2, I don't know where your positions are, where are you guys, you guys were just.
we
elected.
just were.
So you're again,
so we
so-
were 26.
Yeah.
You,
Kansas, like, will both be open, yeah.
oh, yours is next.
Remind John
Yeah.
at the next 7:15 meeting, he needs to bring his ID
Oh, yes.
and be present if possible, so
Yeah,
in other words,
for that,
vote.
right. Can we swear him in online?
I don't know that answer.
We probably could with COVID laws, but.
I would probably
We've got the
defer to
bylaws.
having them come.
yeah,
I
'cause they've got to
Yeah.
sign.
So John, did
It's
you
gotta be
hear that?
notarized, I believe.
Yeah, it has to be notarized.
Oh, you're muted, John.
I can't notarize it,
No.
because I have no idea, I mean, he's who he says he is, but.
Yeah,
Nope, can't hear you still.
Still made it, John.
It says he's on his phone. Probably. Okay, just shake your head if you can hear me. We need you to bring your ID to the next meeting, which is next Monday, so that you can be sworn in. Okay. Got it. Okay, perfect. And tonight, you can be sworn in, right? And you can be sworn in. So we're good. So we'll have, for a second, we're gonna have 6 board members. Till John gets sworn in next week.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Prairie,
Okay.
Dewhurst,
Alright.
Prairie.
So, Michaela,
Oh, there we go.
can you,
Yes.
am I, that, I presume this means that I have to show up. I can't do it by Zoom next week.
That would be preferable, so we can swear you in, yes.
Okay, I'll show up next Monday at the 5:30.
At 5:30, yep,
Okay.
that is
I'll be
it.
there.
And I do not believe we have any other business today. So what time is
I'm
it?
swearing these guys in.
That doesn't have to be done during the meeting, does it?
No.
Okay. And I have some things I need to sign for you too.
And frankly, we can
Okay.
do it at the beginning of
Okay.
next meeting too, if you guys wanted to have.
Oh, I'm not gonna
Do all 3.
I've been away for.
So we can do all 3. You don't really have to be sworn in tonight because there's really not, we're gonna get but you can be sworn in at the next meeting. And
We
then
should-
if you wanted to invite any family members or anybody to swear you in, then we can do it that way.
Or if you want to do it tonight, you can.
Or you can do it tonight if you want. Yeah, it's up to you.
I'm just.
That way, in case one of us passes away. before next week.
That's harder than bus and everybody.
Yeah, my goodbye bus.
All right, you guys, I'm gonna adjourn
You
the
ever
meeting
watch
and then
Game
we
of
can talk. So
Thrones?
it is 6:51 and we are adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone, for coming.
We have messages.
It's too late.
Oh, that's the board member.
I don't know. Congrats to everyone. I have to.
No, I haven't seen it. I don't get
The
it.
other position.
My email's not working.
Oh,
Very good.
and right?
Yes.
Done.
And for us.
On the-
Oh, okay.